You absolute jackass, BC.
What's got you all worked up?
You owe JJ Prime $70 in review editing work, and you kept him waiting on this review. You know what, man? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. JJ, get over here, man.
Jackie, he's not here. He can't actually help.
Actually, Jackie has a point. What the hell, dude?
Okay, how is he talking? How is he talking?
Black magic. Hey guys, what's up? BC coming back at you guys. Yet another Trailsaurus video review. Did you miss me? And today we're going to be taking a look at SS86 Bumblebee, like I promised months ago. Anyway, so here is B in his little penny racer alt mode, and I'm telling y'all right now, I like this a lot more than the War for Cybertron mold just as a whole, and you're going to see why in a minute. Now, there's been a lot of controversy with this toy. I will get that right out of the way now. I'm going to go into a little bit more of an explanation on how I feel at the end of the video, so you guys can understand where I'm coming from at least. But before we do any of that, we got to talk about what we have on hand. And what we have on hand is a fantastic little penny racer mode. And he's wee. He's very wee. And given he's supposed to be a deluxe, this is sorry, camera. This is a bit, I can kind of understand where people are coming from when they say this feels a little underwhelming. Again, we're gonna go into the rant. Now, one thing I will definitely criticize right out the gate with this entire package. This. I personally feel there should have been a wheel back here. Perfect spot to put it, right? Perfect spot to literally slot his gun back here. Boom. Closes up perfectly fine. Stores nicely. They could have done something with that, and I feel like that was the plan. But due to budget restraints, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do the wheel and the gun. So, if that's the case, I concede. If not, then WTF, Hasbro. Would you guys prefer if I actually started, actually cussing in the reviews these days? Because I'm very vulgar on Scrapyard. Anyways, that little rant, or that little whole bit out of the way real quick. Setting him up right about here. And you thought I was going to be bringing JJ's editing prowess into this part, but no, not this time. I actually have the legacy version of Goldbug here to compare the alt modes. Now, obviously, both of these toys are going for two completely separate things. Bumblebee is going for the penny racer, to whereas Goldbug here is going for the actual Volkswagen. So at this point, it's whatever you prefer. Me, I've actually prefer the penny racer. I've always preferred the penny racer look. Never really cared as much about the Volkswagen, which is precisely why as soon as I finally got my hands on the SS86 Bumblebee, I quickly sold my copy of the WC version to Woody from the Scrapyard. So, hey buddy, as soon as this video is done, I'm going to go ahead and get that packed up and sent out to you months later. Anyways, so yeah, there we go. There's Bumblebee's vehicle mode. Let's go into the transformation. And there is a robot mode. And I gotta say, this is basically the perfect Bumblebee robot mode. And, you know, yeah, say what you want about the lack of the blue windows, because, you know, he's supposed to be going for animation accuracy. I don't care. Look at the silhouette. Look at the lack of the parts forming. Just look at him. You cannot tell me that that does not scream 84 Bumblebee. And just the overall aesthetic is just correct here. He looks great. He looks amazing. I love this little dude. And yes, I'm well aware of the fact that I paid $25 for this. I'm perfectly content with that because just honestly, I've genuinely felt like we needed a better Bumblebee for a while. And now that we have one, I can definitely say I'm happier than most. Yeah, so that's Bumblebee's robot mode. I think it's basically perfect. I love the aesthetic. I love, like, you know, yeah, the lack of color matching with the yellows is a bit annoying, but I can get over that. It's really not that big a deal. And at the end of the day, I genuinely feel like this is one of the better deluxes that has come out in a very long time. But, you know, one thing that we're definitely going to need to get out of the way, it's his sense of scale. So that basically leads to the size comparisons. So we'll set him over here. Let's get into it. The first comparison I'm going to do is with Jazz. Now, granted, this is the Legacy United version, which in my eyes is a vastly superior release of this mold. It's still an 86 toy, so I'm counting it here. And overall, I do feel it's a better... I do feel like the scale is correct here. B should be around about that size. So, yeah, so there's Jazz. Here is the buzzworthy 86 Cliff Jumper. Yeah, can we get a Cliff Jumper out of this Bumblebee, please? I'd love that. Please. Pretty please. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Seriously, I'm not gonna stop asking. Oh! Prime. Right, here. Give me just a second. So, slightly scooting things. and anyways, sorry about that. So there's B with Earthrise Prime, and I feel like that's perfect as well, but I'm still gonna wait and see how I feel about it once I have the 86 Commander Prime in hand. Yes, I will be getting that because I think it just looks leaps and bounds better than this, but that's just me. Just because I can, there he is with Roddy. But the comparison I wanted to do was between these two. And as you can see, this has been people's Bumblebee for the longest time. I even put on a rub-on Autobot symbol on his chest because I genuinely believe this was probably the best Bumblebee we were going to get for a while. Which unfortunately was done off of a mold that I don't like. It's a mold I like more than others, but even I have to admit the parts formation aspect of it was annoying. Now that we've seen it can be done, I would very much love to see the Cliff Jumper. That said, both of these, again, are going for a very different aesthetic. And because of that, it's literally a case of pick your poison. Now again, the heads are different. This is going a lot more for what he looked like in War for Cybertron, whereas this goes for a lot more for what he looked like in 84. You know, again, the overall proportions I feel are a lot better on the 86. I feel that the transformation with the 86 is just way better, especially since he doesn't have to parts form. Just there's a lot of I could gush about how much I love the 86 all I want, but that's really not going to change the fact that there is still a place for this guy. So at the end of the day, whichever one you decide you would rather have, by all means, that's the one you'd rather have. So with that said, let's finally go into the articulation, which as per usual, we start at the head. So the head is on a ball joint, but it is a little bit on the limited side. He looks left, he looks right. He kind of gets some up, doesn't really get much down, but if you want to, you could fudge it for the sake of the picture. Peekaboo. Anyways, so ball jointed shoulders with an extra. Whoops. That's the first time that's ever happened. I could have sworn he had an extra joint in there, but I guess not. Moving along. Bicep swivel, ball jointed shoulder, elbow bend, waist swivel, hips in and out, forward and back, thigh swivel, decent knee bend, and partially leg rocker. One thing I do appreciate though, these flat parts are what shockingly keeps him balanced. Yeah, I really like this Bumblebee, in case you couldn't tell. He's quite the fun little figure. And we can talk more about it once we get to the final thoughts. Alright, here we go. Final thoughts. Let's talk about it. So, my negatives on this, quite simply, is I really don't have a lot, but the one I'm going to go into because I know everybody's going to say something about it, the price. This is $25 at retail. I got mine from CMD, so technically speaking, I paid more for mine. I don't feel he's a waste of money at all. In fact, I'm a lot more willing to say he's worth the money. And I genuinely feel like with the negatives complaints, or the negatives portion of this video, we're gonna need to have what I call the talk. Let's be real, guys. We kind of knew this was gonna happen eventually. Bumblebee is one of the iconic ones. He just simply is. No matter how we look at it, and no matter how we may feel about it, he is one of the iconic 6. And so therefore, we're always going to get new versions of this character. Eventually down the line, we're going to get another Bumblebee that's going to look better than this. And then another one's going to look better than that. They're never going to not do Bumblebee. Their goal is not to give us the definitive right out the gate. They're going to make us wait it out. So, with how much you guys are complaining about it now, imagine having to pay $30 for something that's possibly going to be smaller than this. Imagine paying $35 for something that is around about this size. It's gonna happen. We're just gonna have to get with it. It's gonna happen, whether we like it or not. Do I like the sound of that myself? No, absolutely not. Am I willing to deal with it? Yes. Why? Simple. It's just the way of it. And the fact that there are so many people that are so upset and so bent about this, it honestly makes me wonder whether or not some of y'all really are just shaking your fists at the sky and just, it's annoying is basically what I'm getting at. I'm at that point where I'm genuinely convinced y'all are simply just finding reasons to complain. So with that said, let's move on to the positives. Positives wise, great articulation, great sculpt, great aesthetic, decent enough amount of paint. He looks right. You've seen all of the characters that I personally feel matters the most when it comes to standing him next to it. All in all, I feel this is a fantastic figure. And while I don't think he's the greatest thing on the face of the planet, who am I kidding? He's kind of close. Basically, what I'm saying is he is a very high platinum seal figure. He's great. He's awesome. I'm still genuine. Sorry. I'm still genuinely stoked to have him. And overall, yeah. Do I recommend 86 Bumblebee? Absolutely, I do. I absolutely recommend this thing. He's such a fun little figure. For months on end, I couldn't stop messing with him. For months on end, I couldn't stop flipping him back and forth. For months on end, I just could not put him down. And yeah, honestly, now that I've finally got him down from the shelf to do the video finally, I'm probably going to end up messing with him a lot more now because I got to transform him again. And now I have the itch. So yeah, there we go. There's Bumblebee. There's the review. Sorry it took me so long, JJ. And I know, Jackie. Leave me alone. I know you're looking at me. Leave me alone. Shush. So with that said, guys, this is BC saying stay nerdy and get your geek on. I'll talk to you guys next time. You do know you gotta do party waddle next, right? Wait, what?